God still remembers a promise that he made to all of us, no matter how long it's been. Still continuing on in our Abraham series in chapter 15, it's been 11 years since God has spoken to Abram. And during that time, 11 years ago, he had made that promise that he was going to bless Abram with a child. 11 years have passed. And during that time, this is where, as my previous videos, as I mentioned in my previous videos, that he did the whole Egyptian thing, with his wife, and he had that beef with his people and Lot's people, and then he went to go save Lot. All of that happened within those 11 years, and God was never speaking to Abram. But it didn't mean that he wasn't doing things for Abram. But in verse 15, chapter 15, the book of Genesis, in verse 1, and in verse 1, the Lord appeared to Abram in a vision. So this is the first time Abram ever receives a vision. This is also the first time where Abram responds verbally. Normally, he would respond with actions by building an altar and by doing whatever the Lord tells him to do. But now we see that Abram is being verbal about it with the Lord, and he's saying, "Hey, Lord, what gives? Thank you for coming in my vision, but I'm still without a child. What's going on?" Even before he says that, God tells him, "Fear not. I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." So God reminds Abram who he is, and Abram does take notice. And if you continue on throughout the first half of chapter 15, God is pretty much saying, look, I still remember the promise I gave you. You're not going, the people that you're living in, whatever country that you're living in, no one's going to inherit everything that you have. It's going to be your children. Count the stars. That's how many children that you're going to have. That's how many offsprings that you're going to have. And so the Lord is reassuring him all these things. But even reassurance wasn't enough for Abram, because Abram was like, well, how would I know this is going to happen? Abram is just basically like you and I. We ask too many questions to the Lord. The Lord gives us something. He gives us a word, and then we question it. Okay, well, when is it going to happen? Because 11 years has passed, God. And mind you, Abram is 70. He's 76. No, he's 86 years of age. 86 years old, and still nothing has happened for Abram. But I'm making a part 2 video.